Hi everyone, Justin here. Gonna start my video reflection for this response. So after doing the readings for this reflection, one of the first things that stuck out to me was a quote from the Duran article where I think Miss Berry had stated that they wanted to focus on trying to transition students to learn English right away, which just not even going further than that, that's really hard and challenging, and I think even impossible. Like, I don't think you can get students to learn and understand everything right away, especially a new language when they're all facing these different factors growing up in a new environment. I just think that gets in the way of trying to have students stay true to their own values and their own backgrounds and who they and how they grow up. So I think that gets in the way of their culture upbringing. So moving on from that, I want to get into the point of translanguaging. I think that allows students to understand their content more. And again, this ties back in with the first point of it's hard to get students to learn a new language right away. It's got to be a slow build up. You got to allow the translanguaging, because it really just allows students to fill in everything. When you blend in different languages, it helps the student understand what is being said. It allows them to speak more freely. It and in the end, it just brings a foundation to becoming like fully proficient in both languages that they're trying to learn. Because when you allow the blending in of or translanguaging, it basically lets the students at the end, they just have to fill in the gaps of what they do not know in that language that they're trying to learn. An example here is a quote the girl shared with the woman, vendiendo frutas. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but I think that was on one of the charts. So all they have to do, what I'm trying to say, what they have to do is they just have to learn how to translate vendiendo frutas. Once they get that, they'll be able to learn English. But again, translanguaging allows them to understand what is going on, and at the end of the day, I think that's what's most important. As long as they're understanding the situation, the conversation, I think that's a step in the right direction for students to become proficient in English. It may not happen right away. It might take some time. And I think that's what schools have to realize. It's not going to be like, oh, within a week you're going to be able to understand, or even within a year. It might take more than 2 years or something like that. Yeah, I believe translanguaging is important because it allows students to learn about the content, even though I already stated that like earlier. But anyways, this brings a connection to the Martinez article, where the students in the Duran article, they show that they are able to understand the concepts that's going on from the teachers. The code switching and translanguaging is heavily valued by Miss Berry and Mr. Clark. How that connects with the Martinez article, it connects here because it shows that code switching is an ability and not a deficiency. It's really only a deficiency if it is inhibited. Because when people code switch, I guess there's this like stigma that those people that are code switching are not proficient in a language, when in reality it's really more of an ability than a deficiency. They're able to switch from languages right away, and it helps with their communication. And again, what I said earlier, it shows that they are understanding what's going on. They're just not verbally saying it in one language. But at the end of the day, as long as they're understanding the content of it, then I think that's all that matters. How this relates to things that I've seen in real life, I think I've seen this multiple times when I'm subbing in a classroom. Like, I would ask a student a question when I'm subbing, and the student does not know English. So they would turn to their friend and they would translate their answers. They would talk to their friend to translate their answers so that I can understand what they're trying to say. I see that as a sign of understanding while they're in the process of learning a new language. I say that because the ability to answer questions, period, is a step in the right direction of learning a language. If you prevent their answers, then I guess they'll spend more time trying to figure out how to say everything versus processing what is being told to them. Because at the end of when you ask a student a question, then they answer in a different language. That means they're understanding what you're saying. They just don't know how to speak it. And I think that's what's most important. As long as they're understanding, then they're on their way to be proficient at some point in their lives. It just may not happen right away. And I think schools and policies are too focused on trying to achieve everything right away versus trying to actually get students to learn at their pace and trying to cater to what they need. So yeah, case in point, translanguaging is important because it shows that students are able to understand what is going on. Anyways, you guys have a good day.